Hello everyone! Today we are going to teach you how to make this Christmas tree. So let's see how that works, and we'll show you this blue one because this green one is a little bit darker, so I'll show you the blue one here. Let's take out our crochet hooks over here for our Christmas tree. If it is slow up, it is the right hand to hold the thread and the left little finger and wind the thread through the index finger. And then go around the table and we can do the same. It's a little tighter if you wrap it around like that, and you just wrap it around without trying to get inside over here, and we'll wing it again. Bring it over here, so that's a stand-up pin, and we've got a stand-up pin. We're going to hook 6 short pins in this ring, and you can see how the short pins are going to hook up here. Crochet into the loop into the wound thread brought over this time. There are 2 coils on the crochet hook, and then we wind the thread through those 2 coils. A short needle like this is good enough, and then we how many buttons to make on the first chapter can look at. This first chapter is such a small cup. A little thing like that, and put a mark on it if you're new to it. Make a mark on the first frame because this line is not very clear, so novice must make a mark on the first frame. We're gonna put 6 pins in this ring, and then we're gonna put multiple pins in the ring and bring them in here. When we brought it in, we lifted the coil a little bit so that we could. This is tight, it's a little more even if you just bring it in and you bring the wire. Let's lift this thread and then wind it up and bring it over here this time. I just hooked up 2 short pieces so you can take a look at this. There is one such a small micro. It's a short needle, and then there's a small 2 short needles down here, so if you look on the side you can see that this is one. A slash like that, a slash like that. That's stitch number 2. But then a 3rd needle is inserted into the ring. And then a 4th and a 5th. It's more obvious if you look at it. We're gonna have to take this coil with us if we don't, otherwise wait a minute, this coil is gonna be hard to pull tight, and then we're gonna. You can count the number of stitches you don't know after the 1st stitch, the 2nd stitch, the 3rd stitch, the 4th stitch, the 5th stitch, the 5th stitch. We put a short needle in, another stitch into the middle. It when we bring it in, and then after the winding is brought in and 6 stitches are hooked, we'll tighten this coil. Pull it tight, and then we'll take off the earthquake marker. You can also thread this crochet hook into the 1st stitch if you're not sure. Insert it after the earthquake, and then take a marker and winding hook a lead purple is winding to bring over this time. There are 2 coils on the crochet hook, and then one in front and one in back, so that's a drawing needle. Well, we can pull it. Well, with the straps tight, we're going to do the 2nd loop now. The 2nd circle is the need to do a standing needle multi-needle winding. It would be nice to bring in a lift needle like this, and then we'll hook a short one for this round. Then we crochet into the pin of a row. I'm just putting it in and winding it over so I can pull this a little bit. And flush with the first quadrilateral winding, bring over. So a first stitch is done, and if you look at a little bit of the first stitch, we put a marker on it. Our first we can inside a short stitch. And then in the second subtitle we put a needle right here. See if a bar is not inserted and then hook a short plus pin into the second pin. The addition of a short needle is to hook 2 short needles in a pin and then insert a needle in the same needle. Hook a short pin and then this group is good enough, and our buying rule for this circle is 1 short stitch and 1 short stitch plus 3 repetitions for 1 set and then the next. Take a look at this here a little fly, here a short reel and a short reel and reel. Then a short needle. If you're not sure about the real wood, you can plug it in here. If you look at what you can put in, it is basically a pin and you have a short pin. A short pin plus we hook is round to make a draw connection with the ground pin. If you take a mark later and it's not clear, you can too. Put in the first stitch and then remove the mark. And then this is our second lap, and now we're going to hook a third lap and also do a standing stitch. Our first needle is also inserted into this drawing wood. Flat draw this subtitle into the needle first, hook a short needle. We must do a planning lesson here in Chapter E. Then put a short plus pin in the second chapter for you to see. In fact, this real wood is still quite obvious, a small micro. The same is very obvious, so that here is also a small micro. There's another guard here, and now in the second shot, a pin with a short pin, but if you look at this one right above it, it's one of these little pins. You know, it's just an extra needle that went into a short needle when we can end. One short stitch in the next stitch is good enough, so our purchasing rule for this round is a short stitch plus a short stitch, repeat 3 sets for 1 set and then the next. A short stitch and a short stitch. Then 1 short needle for a set. Finish a second set and hook a third set with a short pin. A short needle plus a short needle and then a short needle. We are good enough for the day to make a draw connection with the first pin. After you put it in, take off a few numbers and trigger one more. This is our third lap, and now we're going to hook the fourth lap, and we're going to start with a standing pin. And then we're going to have to pick half a stitch for the fourth round, and we're going to pick half a stitch for the fourth round. Let the inner plate stitch. What is the inner plate stitch? Is one stitch. It has to end a half stitches. That's it. A tiny one, and then the one near the inside. You can see the one near the inside is the inner plate needle, and then next to our one outside stitch here is our one outside half stitch. Under normal circumstances, we always pick a real one. That's a small one. That's a real one. Such a warren, and then we need to pick an inner plate needle to hook this circle. It usually goes in here, and it goes in here, and the first stitch of our needle doesn't fit very well. Then bring the thread over, not the first stitch. And then do a planning class, and then if we do the fourth round, we'll start with 3 short stitches that are all inside half stitches, 2 inner half stitches followed by 3 short stitches and 2, 3, and then a short stitch of a plus stitch. So our crochet girl of the day is the addition of 3 short positives and 1 short positive is repeated in a group of 3 groups, 1 and 2. Three. And then one family goes to a next group. The last stitch is a stitches home stitch. Yeah, that's one hook, and then one hook, and then we'll have one in this circle. There's another each of these that for an office is working on here while making a pole connection with the earthquake. Now that we've done the fourth lap, we're going to do the fifth lap. The fifth loop is also crochet thread to make a standing stitch, and then this loop is to hook 2 short stitches also inside the first stitch, or a short needle eye. After the 2 stitches are done, we hook a short pin and a short pin. In this circle we have a hook weight, and you can hook it with Spectral Solutions. And then 1 short stitch is done, and now we're going to hook 2 short stitches, and we're going to hook this group. So the hook pattern for this circle is 2 short stitches plus 1 short stitch, 2 short stitches for 1 set. Repeat 3 sets. And then we hook up and do the same for the next set. Unkankank, unkankank. Then we have a good round and we put in a first needle. This we can unmark a button and hook a pull. With that done, we are now going to hook our 6th flap and our 6th flap too. We are going to start with a standing stitch and then we are going to start with 5 short stitches. Crochet into the wood and bring in a novice. Always make a mark on the first stitch. So as not to have more needles or less needles in the back. Three and 4 stitches. Five stitches and then through. The next week we hook a short home sign, so a pattern for this round of crocheting is: first hook 5 short stitches and then hook a light of 1 short needle for a set of repeated hook with 3 sets. This set is good enough for us to hook the next set with a short stitch. 2 short stitches, 3 short stitches. 4 short needles, 5. And then 1 more stitch. And then 1 more set. The last stitch of the round was 1. After the addition of the short pin is done, a drawing connection is made with the first pin. They're in a ditch now for lap 7 and so are we for lap 7. We are gonna start with a standing stitch and we are gonna start with 3 short stitches for this round. It also goes in and hooks the inner plate needle and then our first stitch is the one that we pull out. Really, and it's going to be a little tight here. If you're patient you can pull a little bit. You know, if you're having a hard time getting in there you can squeeze it like this. And then I'm going to insert it in the middle here and then I'm going to bring it back up and make this. This type of board stitch starts with 3 short stitches. 1. If you are not very good at picking you can use this method. And then you just take these 2 fingers and you put them here and you pinch them and you stick them down and then you go and you adjust them. 2 and 3. After the 3 short stitches are hooked, the additional charge of the 1 short stitch is hooked. We'll be fine as a group, so we'll So our purchase rule for the 7th circle is to hook 3 short pins and then hook the extra pin of a short pin and then hook again. I'll repeat 3 sets of 3 short needles and then the next set. This group is done and then the next group is hooked. It's a temporary hike of 3. Three short needles. If you twirl your little thumb, it's a little tightly where you can just bring the thread over like this and put your index finger on it, and then we have this. Little thumb and ring finger on here and on the back is fine. That's it, and then hold it down and give it, and then after. Make a draw connection with the first pin, and then we will now hook the 8th round and also make a money first. One stitch is round, we hook the whole stitch and then 7 short stitches first. Single. 2 and 3. 4, 5. 6, 7. 'After the 7 short pins are hooked up, the extra pin of a short pin is hooked up and then this set is hooked up, so the pattern of a hook up in this circle is the addition of 7 short stitches and 1 short stitch for 1 set. Repeat 3 sets and then the next set. If you know, just tick so many signatures to remove short needles and short needles of housekeeping. Basically, crochet according to the diagram and it's easy to distinguish if you're a needle. A place where you have a plus pin and a normal short pin is a place like this where you have 2 of these little strips in a hole. You put a pin in there and then you have a hole like this where there's only 1 in it and it's a short pin. If you forget what you've got, you can look at it like this. Is it a treasure? Then we'll make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 and then a house treasure. Those ends must be facing the face of ours, so that is good enough. while the last stitch of the day is a short stitch of the home treasure. See and then go one with the first stitch. You can do that if you don't know how to count real wood, right? So that's the number of the small micro. This small, you see if the number of small micro is not very clear. You can also count this down here one by one and that one by one. This is one by one and this is the end of a needle. It's a short of 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、90. Now that we've done the 8th loop, we're going to do the 9th loop and we're going to do a standing stitch. We need to do the first stitch of every lap. We need to do a standing stitch of every lap. And then we are going to start with 4 short pins in our earth circle. Crochet into the needlewood belt thread coming over, and then this is the first stitch. Be sure to make a number on the first stitch if you are a novice. 2 and 3 stitches. After the 4 stitches are finished, we will hook a short stitch. The home of a serious short needle is good enough to hook 4 short needles later. So the wage roll for this day is 4 short increases. Add a short stitch and then repeat with 4 short stitches in a set, 3 sets, and then go down. Unkankankank. Ah, 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 ah. After this circle, we make a pole connection with the earthquake. This is our 9th lap and now we're on our 10th lap. It's 10 laps, 10 laps. Also make a chimney needle first and then the rest of the day. To knit our inner half stitch, we start with 9 short stitches. One or two. Three or four. Five, 6, 7. 8, 9. 9 short stitches and then 1 short stitch. This group is good enough, so our purchase roll for this chain is 9 short stitches and 1 short stitch in a set. Repeat 3 sets and then tick down. 9 short stitches. Be a family treasure. Last group. The last stitch in our circle is a short stitch that is added to make a draw connection with the first stitch after the cut. Take off a plain buckle and this is our sheath lap. Now we are going to hook our sheath flap and then we are going to do a standing pin for our sheath flap. First hook 5 short pins and sit at your first station and number 7. The addition of a short stitch after 5 short stitches have been made. Then I'll hook you up with 5 short ones after housekeeping. Once we are done, our group is done, so the buying rule for this cycle is 5 short stitches, a short stitch plus 5 short stitches for a set of repeated hooks. Trio. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. After finishing with the first stitch, do a drawing ear. Now that we are done with this loop, we are going to hook our shears loop. We are going to hook our shears loop first. Please try and make 11 short stitches first. We have a planning lesson on a first station. Me. You can reach me. Third. After the 11 stitches are finished, we hook a short stitch into the next stitch. Let this group be good enough so this one. The purchase rule of this circle is to take 3 short increments and add a short increment to a group of repeated take 3 groups. Then tick down. Unkank. After the day has passed, make a pull connection with the earthquake. And then after this loop is done, we're going to now loop 13. On our 13th turn, we're gonna crochet with half a stitch inside and we're gonna bind 1 standing stitch on our 13th turn. Well, a short needle, a simple needle. Let's hook one. A short needle is inserted into the inner half needle at the end of a drawn needle. We must not pick the wrong thing when we pick. The needle that is draws out is then. Don't put it on the side where he's standing up. Here's a short needle. Let's hook a short sign in brief. How do we hook a short needle into this inner half stitch first? And then wrap a wire and bring it over. Let's not rush a wire over here. We are going to go through the next half stitch and then we are going to bring it over, and now there's 3 coils on the crochet hook and we're going to take it straight 3 coils and then a simple needle with a short needle is good enough. Then the pattern of this circle is a short stitch and a short stitch is a set of repeated hooks 13 sets. A short needle of a short needle of a simple needle. A short needle. A brief sign. This short is really short, really simple. And thanks KKKKKK. Let's have a look and a look and a look. Enka. When he's done with our round, make a pull connection with the first pin, and then after this loop is done, we now hook the ground 14 times. So for round 14 we're going to crochet and we're going to do a lifting needle, and we're going to do a lifting needle for round 14. Yeah, 13 on this one. A short needle is a simple needle that hooks a circle of short stitches. What we're doing here is we're going through the whole needle and we're going to bring it over here. But the next week bring it in and do the same thing. Then take a first stop at the Los Angeles gate. Ah, 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 ah. And ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. After the hook is done, make a draw connection with the first pin. And then we do one more standing stitch and we close the wire. We'll cut the wire and bring it over. A body of a Christmas tree. That's good enough. After we've hooked this subject, let's hook it now. This side of a Christmas tree. This side. This side. and then it's also crochet into our office to really then bring the thread over. Order a standing pin first. We have the first pin here. First hook a short stitch and then hook a short stitch and then hook a short stitch. We put a planning button on the earthquake. Then I put up 2 lock pins. Then give me a short pin at the next stop and cut a short pin and then 2 more lock pins. Then hook a short pin and 2 lock pins into the next one. When we hook it, remember to put the end of this thread over the crochet hook. Well, take a long line and then anyway. So our purchase rule for this circle is to hook a short pin and then 2 lock pins and then the next stitch. Yeah, just repeat it and hook it all the way to the end and that's it. And then it's sticking down but it's repeating people doing it. The crochet then we are here to make a draw connection with the first stitch after finishing this circle. And then the wire breaks and then the top circle and then the top circle and then the top circle and then the way we buy it is the same from any pin. Thread it in and hook a short pin to lock pins and then repeat in the next stitch. The following words everyone by their own. I will not explain. We hook is like this. That's it and then the thread here can taste it and we can taste it like this. Go crochet and bring it over here. Just bring a few needles. And then the top one is the same opacness one. That 3到4 stitches will do and then you can cut off a thread. And then this is the same thing. This is the same thing and you can do it like that. Put it through the inside without steaming it and then bring it in here and put it in here later. Let's the hook here and put it aside and then we're going to hook the tree stump. And then we take a color that's a little bit darker and then also The little finger goes through the index finger and goes around the table, and then this is a sound. Like a Christmas tree, we hook 6 short pins into this coil. One of us beginners must make a number on the first stitch. Unk. Ah. After we've made 6 short stitches, we'll pull this coil tight and tighten it. Make a pull connection with the first stitch, and we're done with the first turn, and now we're going to order a second turn, and we're going to order a standing pin. So the second loop is to give me 2 short needles in each pin and put them in here. In the first subtitle of ring 1, the first stitch is not very easy to pierce. We must be careful. Also need to make a number on the first piece. Well, this 以前do 1. We are going to make a pull connection with the first pin, and that's our second turn, and now we're going to make a third turn, and we're going to make the hook for the third turn. The key half stitch is to do the crochet and then also insert and then a key half stitch. Hook and then sit on the station number buckle. Our circle is no less than the hook. Sure, short stitches are all half of the key stitch. After reading, the first stitch makes a pull connection and then we Well, after the third day we did the fourth row, the sixth lap with the same hook. Sure, short stitches and then one more for the fourth round, and the sixth round we don't lose any more or less, so repeat all the stitches and crochet. When a novice must do an earthquake number button valuation method is the same how I don't hear. I'm not going to go into detail here. When you can buy your own. We are now 6000 after the purchase. We cut the line. by a stand-up wire, and when we break the wire we'll break it a little bit longer and then we'll sew it up. You can break it a little bit more and then pull a face head over here, and after we have finished, we are now going to the yellow river. Before we stitch it up, we're gonna take out a stuffing pad and stuff it in. You don't have to fold too much as long as he is. Yeah, he can just come down here. This junior high is a little bit bigger than it was when we jammed it. Don't get too tight. Let's just hold it down here. Don't get too tight. Put it on either side of this. Don't throw this up or you'll have a hard time standing without getting too sunburned. When it's done, we'll take this. Put them together. This word heated or crochet. You can go either way. Try to squeeze this in. The two sides of a tree are like this when we are in a house. Hook this thread through this stitch from this side. Put a needle through this tree right here and then you pick a needle out of this tree right here, and you can pick a needle out of this tree as much as you want. Ah, 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 ah. At that. Corresponding to it. Ah, 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 ah. Unkank, unkank. 2 more stitches. Then when we are done, we'll just go through whatever needle we want from here. Let's just hook his line and cut the extra. Putting us on a Christmas tree like this. It's over. It's over. We are here now. Our cotton center of gravity is on both sides of this tree. Just stuff him on both sides so he can wait until he's ready. Now that we're done in the station, we're gonna stick on the pom-poms. This pom-pom, you take out the pom-pom that you received and the pom-pom that we sent out are all random, and you play the Dragon Ball you've been given. If we had one of these bead balls, I take out my glue pump and my lighter and I'm gonna burn some glue, and I'm gonna stick this glue to this pom-pom, and I'm gonna stick it on. And then all the other pom-poms are the same, and give him this random glow. Stick it to your liking, just stick it to your liking, then you're done.